Hey everyone, KennedyHawk from the Marvel Champions Monthly Fan Podcast. We're going to do another hero kit or hero combo starter set. So these are 3 aspect cards from each aspect that I think combo well with Captain Marvel. Used to be Miss Marvel in lore. My bad. So let's look at her kit really quick. So she has 4 recovery, 12 hit points, hand size is 6. She can draw a card on this side or have another player draw a card. So lots of ramp. That's good. On this side, she can cycle an energy damage to heal 1 and then draw a card if she heals the damage. 2 thwart, 2 attack, 1 defense. You'd think she wouldn't be a very good defender, but she's got this Captain Marvel's helmet that when she has aerial can get her up to a stat line of 3 defense, so she can still defend with the best of them. She's got a very energy-focused kit, so she's got 3 copies of Photonic Blast, deal 5 damage if you spent an energy resource, draw a card. She's got 2 copies of Energy Channel. You spend energy resources to put tokens there, and you can discard up to 5 tokens from it and discard Energy Channel to do 10 damage, so big booms. She's got resource cards, Energy Absorption right in her kit, 3 energy symbols. She has Alpha Flight Station that lets her search through her deck faster and even more efficiently in Alter Ego form, so she's definitely going to want to flip a lot, and we'll have to compensate for that. She's got 2 copies of Cosmic Flight. I'm only showing 1 here. There must be 1 lingering somewhere. But yeah, 2 copies of Cosmic Flight, which can give her aerial. So that's great. Make sure I'm not off. I thought she had 2 copies. Yeah, she's got 2. And then 1 copy of Spider-Woman, who confuses the villain. So in the core set, this was the only way heroes had to confuse the villain. And that kind of allows her to flip to Alter Ego form more than usual. So we're going to start with Justice this time instead of Aggression, and there are 3 Justice cards that I think are really good. And you're going to see a theme with these cards as we go through. I said she's very energy focused. Our first card has an energy symbol. So from Captain America's pack, you can attach this to a side scheme. When that side scheme is defeated, players will take 4 damage. I think this is really good because of Crisis Interdiction. Once you get aerial, you're removing threats from multiple schemes. So she's already set up to attack that secondary scheme, so getting damage out of it only makes her better. Quake. After a minion schemes, exhaust Quake to deal 2 damage to that minion. So one of the things Captain Marvel really struggles with is lots of minions, minion swarms. She doesn't have a lot of attacks that do little piddledink damage, right? It's 10s and 5s. So since she's flipping so much, you'll be able to flip, let those tiny minions thwart, and then Quake can take care of them for you. And again, energy resource. Moving on, last card here is Counterintelligence from Black Widow's pack. I think this is just a good card with almost every character. Anything that allows you to prevent threat when it's being placed is really, really strong. So this is pretty cool. You put it into play. You can use it when you need it to prevent the main scheme from threading out. This is going to let her flip to Alter Ego more liberally. And it's just a pretty good card. And once again, energy resources. So if that didn't strike home, energy resources, very important for Captain Marvel. We'll go for protection next. So here we have Nova, an ally that has an energy resource and uses energy resources. So this is another way to compensate for minion swarm. When an enemy initiates an attack against you, the player, you can spend a lightning bolt resource from your hand, which hopefully you have a ton of, based on the cards I'm suggesting you sort of think about including, to deal 2 damage to that enemy. So if the minion's low on health, this will off the minion before they even damage you. So that's really good. And this isn't once per round, so if you had 4 Ultron drones attack you and you happen to have 4 energy and wanted to get rid of them, Nova could take care of them for you. Energy Barrier. Pretty much the same thing, but a uses upgrade. So you put 3 tokens on here. When you would take damage, you remove 1 token to deal a damage to an enemy. It doesn't have to be the one that was damaging you. So another thing that's really good at clearing swarm minions, which is something Protection and Carol kind of struggle with. And then finally an Armored Vest. Here's our first non-energy card. And I think this is good because when you're in hero form with 1 defense, you can get up to 3, although it requires a 2-card combo. If you want to stretch that to a 3-card combo, you can get to 4 defense. 4 defense is pretty sturdy, especially when you're playing as a protection player. So I like including that just for that potential to get to 4 defense. All right, Leadership, Morale Boost. I think this card is really good because it affects so much of the game. Anyone that has 2 attack and thwart, I suggest bringing Morale Boost. A lot of those side schemes that come into play right away, they have 3 threat on them. Well, now you can remove them round 1. That's very, very powerful. Get rid of Breaking and Taken, get rid of Immortal Claw, whatever you need to. And that defense carries through into the next round. So again, you can get yourself up to 4 defense, allow yourself a turn to breathe against Rhino's big attack. Avengers Assemble. I think this card is really good because Carol obviously has the resources to afford it. So this allows you to ready each character you control, each Avengers character, and then all of them get +1/+1. So let's say you've played Spider-Woman, you thwart with her for 2, so you've confused the villain and thwarted for 2. Now you thwart with Captain Marvel, you've thwarted for 4. Hopefully you had something like an energy absorption to play that, so you have enough left to play Avengers Assembled. But if you do, now you ready both of them, you can thwart for 6 more. So that's 10 threat removal and a confusion for your turn. That's pretty good value. Alright, final one, Vision. Here's our second non-energy card, but a card that relies very much on energy. So I am not a big fan of Vision and Leadership, but I think he works well in a Captain Marvel deck because you're never lacking for energy resources. So if you have a ton of those energy resources, you're going to be able to pump Vision to a 4 attack or a 3 thwart, and if you use cards like Get Ready or Inspired or Teamwork or Avengers Assembled, you'll be able to really optimize on Vision's attacks. Back to Energy Land, another ally. So we had an ally in each aspect this time. That's kind of cool. Valkyrie from Thor's pack. She's a 1/2/3 energy resource again. After Valkyrie enters play, deal 2 damage. If it was with an energy resource, deal 3. So this is another way for her to clear a tiny minion and then be able to attack the villain. Clear a guard minion after you've removed Tough, be able to attack the villain. That's a constant weakness of Carol that a lot of these cards, everything but Leadership, kind of is trying to fix. I put Get Over Here in here for multiplayer play because I think that this could be kind of interesting in multiplayer. I really like trying to optimize on this aerial trait to force enemies to engage you. So in multiplayer, you can pull an energy towards you, or you can pull an enemy towards you. You can probably blast it away, so it doesn't matter if it's hitting you, or maybe you have high defense, so you can defend against that enemy, but your partner cannot. I think it's a pretty interesting card that doesn't get played a lot, but I think it has use with Carol just because you can get aerial, especially in multiplayer. Well, only in multiplayer. Sorry, not only in multiplayer. There was another reason I kept this in here. Minions, little low health minions, can be really annoying to Carol. Like, if you get 2 of those guard minions with Tough from Claw one turn, you've now got to do 4 sources of damage before you can hit Claw. That's really annoying. But Get Over Here can get rid of Tough on a minion. If you have an Ultron drone that's preventing you from damaging Ultron, you can get rid of that Ultron drone. You can do all sorts of things. So I think Get Over Here is worth it, even in solo, for Captain Marvel, but way worth it in multiplayer for her. Okay. Hulk is the final one. So 5 allies. It's like an ally person or something. Hulk's 2-cost ally, 3 attack, not able to thwart, 5 health. And then he has this special ability. The reason I like to include this is if you look at Miss Marvel's hero kit, hopefully these 2 cards are in play when Hulk is out. So you've got 1 card in your kit that is a mental resource, 1 card that's a wild. In theory, your other 25 cards could be fists or lightning bolts, so that Hulk goes off every time Hulk can. You'd have a 1 in, 30-ish chance of Hulk discarding himself. That would feel pretty dang good. And even if they're all lightning bolts, that's fine. Hulk doesn't mind hitting everybody for 1. You can always heal yourself for it later, so it's not a big deal. But I think Hulk, one of the heroes he really fits with well is Captain Marvel. So this was the Captain Marvel sort of combo review. We were only using cards through the Black Widow pack, just as a reminder. Once we get through the next set of heroes, so Doctor Strange, Hulk, the campaign box, we'll do this again with 4 new decks of hero cards included to see how these combo cards sort of change. So hope you guys enjoyed this one. For now, I'm just going to go down the line. So our next video, we will talk about Iron Man. Tune in and make sure to like and subscribe.